Hello everyone, welcome back to my English Learning Real Life English channel and English Improving Daily Life.
Welcome to Knowledge Walla Podcast, your cozy place to learn English.
Hey, before we do anything else today, I want you to do something for me. I want you to think back to the last time someone spoke to you in English. Maybe it was your boss, maybe it was a customer. Maybe it was just someone on the street asking for directions. And I want you to remember what happened inside your brain in that moment. Did the words come out instantly? Or was there a pause, a tiny delay, that split second where your brain was doing something?
If you felt that pause, if you know exactly what Leah's talking about, then this episode was made for you, because that pause has a name, and today we are going to kill it.
Welcome back to English Unchained. I'm Leah.
And I'm Sam, the podcast that doesn't just teach you English, it rewires the way your brain uses it.
This is day 2 of our 30-day journey, and if you were with us on day 1, welcome back. If this is your first time, no worries. You can absolutely start here.
Day 1 was about building the foundation, understanding why listening and speaking together is so powerful. Today, we go one level deeper.
Today's topic is one that I feel very strongly about, because when I first started learning, nobody explained this to me, and I spent years making the same mistake over and over again without understanding why.
Leah, tell them what the mistake is.
The mistake is translating in your head. Every time you hear English, translating it into your native language first. Every time you want to speak, thinking in your native language first, and then converting it into English.
And here's the thing, it's not your fault. It's how most of us were taught. Schools, textbooks, apps, they all teach through translation.
But today, we fix that. By the end of this episode, you'll have 5 real tools that will help you think directly in English. Not someday, starting today.
30 minutes, let's go.
Okay, Sam, I want to start with a question. When you learned your native language as a baby, how much translation did you do?
None, obviously. I mean, nobody sat baby me down and said, okay, Sam, this word means that word. I just heard things, and I understood things, and I started saying things.
Exactly. No dictionaries, no flashcards, no grammar rules. Your brain just absorbed the language directly from the world around you. The sound apple got connected directly to the round red fruit, not via any other word, directly.
Right. So when someone says apple to me now, I don't think about the word, I don't translate anything, I just see it. Boom, instant.
That's called direct access. Your brain has a straight line between the English sound and the meaning. No detour, no middleman.
But now here's the problem, because when most of us learned English in school, we didn't get that straight line. We got something very different.
We got a textbook that said, apple means saib, or manzana, or whatever word it is in your language. And every single time you saw the English word, your brain was trained to go, English word, stop, translate into my language. Okay, now I understand.
And it felt efficient. It felt like it was working. And in a classroom, it did work. You could pass the test.
But here's what happened. Your brain built a habit, a routing habit. Every English word, detour through your first language, then meaning. And now that habit is so deep, so automatic, it happens without you even noticing.
Neuroscientists call this L1 mediation. L1 meaning your first language, your native tongue. Mediation meaning it acts as the middleman. So your brain is constantly mediating, using your first language as a bridge between English and meaning.
And in daily conversation, that bridge slows you down. Think about it. Every sentence you hear in English, your brain is doing 2 translations in real time. English to your language to understand, your language back to English to reply.
It's like driving across town but going via a completely different city first. It gets you there, but it takes forever.
And under pressure, when you're nervous, when someone is waiting for your answer, when you're in an interview or a presentation or just a fast conversation, that bridge collapses, the route breaks down, and suddenly you're standing there with nothing coming out.
Which feels awful. And then you think, I'm just bad at English, when actually your English knowledge is fine. It's the routing that's broken.
Exactly. So what's the solution? The solution is to build the direct route, to train your brain to connect English directly to meaning, the way you did with your native language as a child.
And the good news is, it's absolutely possible. The brain is neuroplastic. It can be rewired at any age. It takes practice and consistency, but it is very much possible.
And we're going to start that process right now with today's first shadowing exercise.
But before we get there, I want to say something to our listeners, something important.
Go ahead.
I want you to hear this. If you've been learning English for years and you still feel stuck, please hear this. You are not slow. You are not bad at languages. You have just been using the wrong route. That's it. And today, we change the route.
Beautifully said, Sam. Okay, let's get into the practice.
Okay, everyone. This is the part of the show where we actually practice. And I want to explain how this works before we start. Leah is going to tell you a short story, a real human story with real emotions in it. She will speak slowly and clearly. After every sentence, there will be a pause.
And I want to add something to what Sam said. Don't just repeat the words. Try to feel what the character in the story is feeling. Because here is a very important insight about language and memory. When you attach emotion to words, your brain stores them in a completely different way. Deeper, more permanently, more accessibly. It's not a trick, it's biology. Emotional memory is stronger than neutral memory.
So if you can feel the story, you will remember the language in it. Not just today, forever.
All right. Find a comfortable position, take a breath, and follow along. This is a story about Maya, a young woman who really, really wants a job. Maya sat in the waiting room.
Maya sat in the waiting room.
The chairs were hard and uncomfortable, but Maya didn't notice.
The chairs were hard and uncomfortable, but Maya didn't notice.
She was too busy thinking.
She was too busy thinking.
She had practiced every single answer 100 times, maybe more.
She had practiced every single answer 100 times, maybe more.
In front of the mirror, in the shower, on the bus, in her sleep.
In front of the mirror, in the shower, on the bus, in her sleep.
But now, sitting here in this real waiting room, her mind went completely blank.
But now, sitting here in this real waiting room, her mind went completely blank.
She stared at the wall. She felt cold.
She stared at the wall. She felt cold.
She thought, I cannot do this. I'm going to fail.
She thought, I cannot do this. I'm going to fail.
And then she caught herself.
And then she caught herself.
She took one slow, deep breath.
She took one slow, deep breath.
And she said to herself, quietly, firmly, I know this. I have done this before. I am ready.
I know this. I have done this before. I am ready.
The door opened.
The door opened.
A woman with a warm smile looked at her. Maya, we're ready for you.
A woman with a warm smile looked at her. Maya, we're ready for you.
Maya stood up. She felt her heartbeat in her chest.
Maya stood up. She felt her heartbeat in her chest.
She walked to the door. She smiled back.
She walked to the door. She smiled back.
Absolutely, she said. Let's do this.
Absolutely, she said. Let's do this. That's a good story.
It really is. And now I want to ask you something, listener. When you were shadowing Maya, did you feel anything? Did you feel the cold hands, the blank mind? That moment she caught herself and found her courage?
Because if you did, even a little bit, then something important just happened. Your brain stored those English sentences alongside a feeling, and that combination is powerful.
We're going to play the story one more time now, slightly faster, but this time really lean into the emotion. Be Maya. Don't just say the words, live them.
Incredible. How did that feel? Better? More natural the second time?
That's shadowing working. Repetition plus emotion plus voice. This is how you build direct English in your brain.
Now, before we move on, a quick challenge from that story. Can you finish this sentence out loud right now? She said to herself,
If you got it, that's not luck. That's your new direct memory. The English went in and it stayed.
Okay, we're getting into the heart of today's episode. 5 techniques. Tested, practical, and each one is something you can do today, right now, in your daily life.
And I want to say, these aren't just tips. Each technique is targeting a specific part of the translation habit. They work together as a system.
Technique number 1. We call this one the object game.
Oh, I love this one.
Right now, wherever you are, look around, pick any object, anything, and say its English name. Immediately, before your brain tries to go the long way around. Not, okay, what is this called? Ek second, ye hai, chair. Just chair. Table, window, door. Just straight out, no detour.
This sounds almost too simple, right? But here's why it works. Every time you name an object directly in English without going through your native language, you are literally strengthening that direct neural pathway. You were doing a repetition at the gym, but for your brain.
Do this everywhere. In the kitchen while you make chai in the morning. Kettle, spoon, sugar. On the street, traffic light, bus, pedestrian. In your office, keyboard, screen, notebook. Every single object, every single day.
Good. Technique number 2, emotion labeling. This one is about your feelings. And I know some people are thinking, what do feelings have to do with English? Everything. Feelings are the most powerful memory anchors we have.
So here is the practice. Every time you feel something today, name it in English, in your head or out loud. I am frustrated right now. This is making me happy. I feel anxious about this meeting. I'm really tired.
Simple, present tense sentences. Not complicated, not literary, just honest and immediate.
And why does this matter? Because feelings come from a very deep part of the brain. When you can feel in English, when your emotional language is English, you stop needing the detour. The language becomes instinctive.
This is actually the technique I wish someone had told me years ago. The day I started naming my emotions in English, my fluency changed because suddenly English wasn't just an academic subject, it was the language of my real, daily emotional life.
Beautiful. Technique 3, and this is the advanced one, shadow your own thoughts.
This one is hard at first, but stay with us.
Here's what you do. When a thought appears in your mind in your native language, catch it, notice it, and then immediately say it in English. For example, let's say you're sitting in traffic and the thought that pops up is, मुझे बहुत भूख लग रही है. You catch it. You say, I'm really hungry right now. Out loud or in your head, doesn't matter.
And the first few times, yes, you are technically still translating, but that's okay, because here's what happens. After you've done this enough times with the same thought, the next time that hunger comes, your brain skips the native language entirely. It goes straight to English. I'm hungry. That's it. Direct route built.
This is exactly how bilingual people think. They don't translate. Their brain has just mapped the same feelings and experiences to 2 separate sets of sounds. And you can build that map too.
Technique 4. English dreaming triggers.
Okay, this one is probably a most underrated technique, and it's the easiest one on the list.
Tonight, before you close your eyes, spend 3 minutes replaying your day in English. Just narrate it simply in your head. Today, I woke up at 7. I had breakfast. I went to work. I had a difficult meeting. I felt tired in the afternoon. I listened to a podcast on the way home.
That's it. 3 minutes, basic sentences, English.
Why does this work? Because your brain consolidates language during sleep. It takes everything you've been exposed to during the day and it processes it, strengthens it, stores it. If the last input before sleep is English, your brain works on English all night.
It's like giving your brain English homework while you sleep, without doing any actual work. I personally love this technique because it requires zero effort and it genuinely works.
Sam has been doing this for 3 months, and his dreaming has actually started happening partially in English, which is honestly the goal.
Slightly unsettling, but yes, goal achieved.
And technique 5, shadowing with emotion sync. This is what we practiced in the story just now and what we're about to do again in our next segment, but I want to explain the deeper principle here.
When most people shadow, they focus on the words. They try to get the sounds right, the pronunciation right, the grammar right. And those things matter, but they are secondary.
The primary thing, the thing that makes shadowing actually change your brain, is syncing with the emotion and rhythm behind the words, the speed, the pause, the rise in someone's voice when they're excited, the drop when they're sad, the breath before a difficult sentence.
When you copy those, when you inhabit the speaker rather than just imitate the sounds, you are not learning English as a foreign language anymore. You are experiencing English as a lived language.
And that is the entire shift we're trying to make today.
5 techniques: object game, emotion labeling, shadow your thoughts, English dreaming triggers, and emotion sync shadowing.
You now have 5 tools. Let's put them to work.
Round 2. And this one is different. This time, Leah and I are going to have a real conversation. A proper back and forth, the kind you have with someone you know. Natural speed, real hesitations, real reactions.
And your job is to shadow me, speaker B. Every time I speak, and I'll give you a clear pause after each line, you repeat exactly what I said. Match my rhythm, match my hesitations, match my energy. Don't try to get every word perfect. Focus on the flow, the feeling, the naturalness. Okay? Here we go.
Hey, wait, did you just say you missed your flight?
Yeah, I did. And honestly, I'm still a bit in shock about it. Yeah, I did. And honestly, I'm still a bit in shock about it.
What happened? You literally left this morning?
I know exactly what happened, and it's entirely my fault. I sat down at this little cafe in the terminal, just to have a coffee, and I kind of just lost track of time completely. I know exactly what happened, and it's entirely my fault. I sat down at this little cafe in the terminal, just to have a coffee, and I kind of just lost track of time completely.
Oh no, so you missed the boarding?
I missed everything. By the time I looked at my phone, it was 15 minutes past departure. I ran to the gate, and I mean actually ran, but the doors were already closed. Completely done. I missed everything. By the time I looked at my phone, it was 15 minutes past departure. I ran to the gate, and I mean actually ran, but the doors were already closed. Completely done.
That's a nightmare. So what did you do?
What could I do? I went to the airline desk, tried to keep a calm face, and rebooked. Cost me an extra $200 that I absolutely did not have budgeted for this trip. What could I do? I went to the airline desk, tried to keep a calm face, and rebooked. Cost me an extra $200 that I absolutely did not have budgeted for this trip.
I'm so sorry. That's such a horrible feeling.
It was awful, but honestly, I've decided to look at it differently. It was a $200 lesson, and the lesson is put your boarding time in your phone alarm, not just in your head, because apparently my head is not reliable. It was awful, but honestly, I've decided to look at it differently. It was a $200 lesson, and the lesson is put your boarding time in your phone alarm, not just in your head, because apparently my head is not reliable.
That is a very healthy way to look at a genuinely terrible situation.
I have had a few hours to process it, and a very overpriced airport sandwich, so I'm doing better. I have had a few hours to process it, and a very overpriced airport sandwich, so I'm doing better.
Okay, before we replay that, I want to point something out to you, our listener. In that entire conversation, nobody translated. Nobody paused to think of a word. The hesitations you heard, Those were natural thinking pauses, not translation gaps. There's a difference.
A translation gap feels like a wall you're trying to get through. A natural thinking pause feels like a breath you're taking before thought. In real fluent speech, breathing pauses are normal and actually make you sound more natural, not less.
We'll come back to that on day 3, actually. Natural pauses and filler words. But for now, let's replay the conversation one more time. This time, I want you to really try to keep up with me. Full speed, no stops.
Here's what we're going to do. Sam is going to ask you 5 questions. Your job is to answer out loud, immediately in English, not in your head, out loud.
And I need to be clear about one thing. I am going to leave quite a long silence after each question, and that silence is the whole point. Do not skip it. Do not press fast forward. Sit in it, think, and speak.
And if what comes out is imperfect, that is completely fine. Imperfect English spoken aloud is 1,000 times more valuable than perfect English that stays inside your head.
Ready? Let's go. Question 1. Tell me about yourself. Don't overthink it. Just talk. Who are you? What do you do? What do you care about? Go.
Tell me about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And what do you care about?
Good. Whatever came out, that was you. That was real English. Don't judge it. Just notice. Did you translate before you spoke, or did some words come directly? Question 2. Describe the last meal you really enjoyed. What did it taste like? Where were you? How did it make you feel? Go.
Beautiful. Did you notice something? When you talked about food, something you actually love, the words probably came a little faster because emotion unlocks language. That's not a coincidence. That's neuroscience.
Question 3. Tell me about a person who has had a big impact on your life. Who are they? What did they do for you? Why do you think about them?
Take a moment. Think about what you just said. You described a real relationship, a real feeling in English. That's not vocabulary, that's not grammar. That's you connecting your real life to this language.
Question 4. What is something you are genuinely proud of? It can be big, it can be small. Tell me about it.
I love this question because pride is such a specific feeling, and having to find the English words for something you're proud of, that's deep language work.
Last one. Question 5. How do you feel right now, in this moment, after this episode? Describe it honestly.
What you just did 5 times in a row is exactly what we're training for.
You answered in English, without a script, without preparation. You thought and you spoke. The bridge was there, maybe. You probably still translated some things. That's okay. But was it a little bit faster than usual? A little bit easier?
Every time you do this, that direct pathway gets a little wider, a little faster, a little more automatic. You're not trying to be perfect. You're trying to be consistent. Consistency builds fluency, not perfection.
We're coming to the end of day 2, and I want to take a moment before we close. Today, you learned something that took me a long time to figure out on my own. The problem was never your English. The problem was never your intelligence or your ability. It was the route. You were taking the long way every single time. And now you have 5 tools to start building the shortcut.
And here's the thing about tools. They only work if you use them. So we're going to give you a very specific assignment for today. One thing, simple, 5 minutes or less.
Tonight, before you go to sleep, replay your day in English, in your head. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be long. Just 3 to 5 minutes of quiet English narration of your own day.
Today I woke up at 7. I had breakfast, I went to work, I had a long meeting, I came home tired. I listened to a podcast about thinking in English. That's it. Simple, honest, yours.
Your brain will work on it while you sleep. And tomorrow, those same sentences will feel a little more natural, a little more automatic, a little more like you.
On day 3, we're tackling something I know you've been wondering about. What do native speakers actually do when they don't have the perfect word, when they're thinking, when they need a moment?
We're talking about filler words, thinking pauses, and the beautiful, messy, imperfect language that real fluent speakers use every single day. and I promise it is going to change how you see natural English forever.
Join us for that. It's a good one.
Until then, remember what we said today.
Don't translate.
Think.
This has been English Unchained. I'm Leah.
And I'm Sam. We'll see you tomorrow.